Hey everybody, welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and Hamilton is on Disney Plus. People have been talking about it. Some people have attempted to try and cancel it. It's not getting canceled. That's fake news to me. Yeah, there's people that are upset because the portrayal of Alexander Hamilton isn't exactly historic. It's similar to like Greatest Showman, where it's like, you know, that's not P.T. Barnum. He was a terrible person. Didn't care. I thought it was a good movie. It was a good movie. He was a human character. I like that. It's the same thing with Hamilton for me. Yeah, but it's even more historically, I think, accurate. But yes, they do ignore slavery. Something, you know, that upset a lot of people when they watched it. Like, well, come on, Hamilton had slaves. Why aren't we even addressing this? And it's a fair question. In fact, it got to a point where Lin-Manuel Miranda actually came out on Twitter and sort of acknowledged and apologized. He said, yeah, we had a song about that, but then we never really followed through or addressed it. So we didn't know where to go. It sort of sunk the air out of the show. And I think he's right. Look, this is a work of art. This is not a history lesson. People are mistaking it from a history lesson, but at the end of the day, it's a show. It's an art. It's by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's written by, based off of the historical book, which I haven't read, but, you know, I can see where some people would have criticism for it, but not enough to cancel it. The film is a separate piece made by a creator, right, an artist, and I think it's great. And as a human story, and with history, you know, throughout it, I think it's beautifully told. There's a reason I haven't reviewed it is because I was lucky enough to see this actually live when it came to Los Angeles. I didn't see it with the original cast in New York, but I did get to see it there. But it was kind of an emotional time when I saw it, and it kind of wrecked me. It really did wreck me, and it still sort of sits with me. And I don't want to explain why and get too personal, but I also just don't want to spoil it for those of you who haven't seen it. But it has a really, you know, intense second act that hit me hard. And I sort of, it hit me so hard that it still sticks with me and like haunts me in a way. And I just haven't gotten the nerve to watch it again. I watched the beginning of it on Disney Plus, and I was impressed, like sort of first act. I was impressed with the styling, with how they chose to sort of, you know, not just film the performance, but get in there with the camera. They did some 360s. They got some close-ups. It is a cool adaptation. But this idea of this, you know, adaptation for Disney Plus, could it be up for awards? Is really what the now, you know, debate is. And when I see that out there, I'm like, no, no, it shouldn't, because it's just a straight adaptation of a Broadway show. Yes, they shot extra pieces, which is what some people are making the argument. In fact, we can show Cinema Blend sort of had this debate, should it be eligible? And so their team sort of went through and said it shouldn't, which is where I stand, because it's a thing that exists already, and this is just sort of, you know, a film version of a different medium. It's like a concert film, but even concert films add things. But then the other side of the argument was saying, well, no, it should, because, you know, it's not just a recorded performance, because the way the show is filmed and edited, especially the use of its audience-free performances of certain moments for close-ups, convinces me, this is the author, that at the very least the film should be considered for Best Documentary. Now, like, maybe I could see that, but still, however, I would go, as this person says, I'd go as far as say that with all the time and effort and thought went into the staging and capturing of the Hamilton performance that went to Disney Plus, Best Picture could also be in the possibility, but they agree it shouldn't be up for set design, costume, or anything else, because I don't see how you could make that argument, because all that stuff was pre-existing. They didn't design it for a movie, and I think that's unfair. You can't suddenly have some Broadway show come in, film it, and then they get to take all the awards. But I think they're crazy. There's no way this should be up for a Best Picture nod. It doesn't make any sense. Even a Best Documentary, to me, is too much. They didn't film enough from the parts I've seen and I've read. They didn't film enough. Now, if they had filmed like a docu-series or some extra pieces before and after, bookends, etc., and actually tried to make a different adaptation that then repurposed some of the scenes from the show, but made a movie version of it with some moments from the show, then I would argue, okay, fine. But they didn't. They just got, you know, they did a couple shows without the audience, so they could, like a concert film would. And I don't think that should be up there. It's not fair. Now, today, to sort of put this to bed, Variety actually put together a pretty great piece explaining why it can't. They went through all the rules and realized that it doesn't have any shot at winning the Oscars, but it does have a shot at the Emmys. Golden Globes, I will tell you at the end. But they said that it doesn't work. While Give 'Em Hell, Harry, a recording of a one-man stage play of the same name, earned an Oscar nomination for Best Actor for James Whitmore in 1976, the rules changed in 1997 when language was added to the documentary category that disqualified recorded stage performances. The movie performed in July 3rd. Apparently, it was downloaded 752,000 times. globally. Whew, that's a lot. Good for them. Anyway, they went on to say that the Emmys, though, it could be eligible for certain categories of the Emmys. It will have to enter into the Outstanding Variety Special pre-recorded category, not the TV movie competition. Per TV Academy rules, programs exclusively originated for or derived, adapted from a medium other than television or broadband, e.g. taped concert tour performances, Broadway play, opera night, club, etc. Entertainment components of sports programs, halftime show are eligible as appropriate in Variety Special Live or Variety Special pre-recorded. So that limits, the performer Emmys that they could get. So the cast can't get anything. But if someone's credited as a producer, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he could potentially get some Emmys in this too. Emmy rules state that the principal host for variety series and the principal host performer for variety specials are eligible to be entered with the program category. Secondary performers are not eligible. So that could happen. Hamilton is known for its music, of course, but obviously it can compete in the original music direction category for a single episode of comedy, drama, or variety, but it can't submit original music and lyrics because the songs weren't written for the TV show. It was written for the special, and it was a different eligibility year. And it can compete in other multiple craft fields as well as outstanding directing for a limited series, movie, or dramatic special, unless they decide to place it in the variety special directing category. I remember when we did the Emmys, short form varieties, what we were nominated for as honest trailers. That first year we had a shot, and then Daily Show and Carpool Karaoke then I think came in after that. It was just there was no way to win by those bigger names. The Academy just likes it's a popularity contest. Broadway adaptations of TV are fairly common. I've seen plenty of Emmy nominations and wins throughout the years, like Great Performances and American Playhouse, as well as Elaine's Stitch of the Liberty, John Leguizamo's Freak, and Springsteen on Broadway, all nominated for the Outstanding Variety Special and Outstanding Directing for a Variety Special. So there's no plans yet, obviously, but the only other thing that I did look up is the fact that there was also talk of there's this Limelight rule that I've seen in my research. Limelight was a Chaplin film that came out 20 years later, and it ended up getting an Best Original Score Oscar that Charlie Chaplin was alive to accept. But then there's this unwritten thing that says that was sort of changed it because they realized, no, a film needs to be out. I think it's 2 or 3 years is now a cutoff, but there seems to be some discrepancy on that, and I couldn't find a definitive if the Limelight rule is real. But I did see that it could be up for Golden Globes. It could go up for the Best Musical or Comedy because the Golden Globes are sort of still adjusting their rules. So they could decide, and I would not put it past the Golden Globes, to, especially given this year and how crazy it is, hey, let's just throw in some Hamilton performances. Why not? Because it'll help them tremendously from a viewer standpoint. And Hamilton will love the Golden Globe Awards. So it's a sort of a win-win for everybody. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Golden Globes decide to sort of rewrite the rules this year to let them sneak in, which is not fair. But guys, the Golden Globes are never fair. They're all just bought. But Oscars, it's not going to happen, which I think is a good thing. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Do you think Hamilton should be up for Oscars, or should it stay in the category it's in? Tell me your thoughts down below. Did you see Hamilton? Did you like it? Did you think it was overrated? You can share those thoughts too. Eventually, I might get to watching it again. Then if I feel up to it, I'll give you guys more of a heartfelt, straight review. But I might just keep that one close to the vest. But you guys should check it out. My review is this. It's really well done. It's really beautifully well done. And even though it wrecked me a bit, I still think it's a really amazing story. And I didn't think it would. It starts so silly. You're like, they're all rapping. You're just like, oh my God. I remember sitting there in the theater going, oh God, this is going to be miserable. And then sure enough, it starts to really, you're like, man, this is good. It's so fast paced. And I advise if you watch it on Disney Plus, put the subtitles on because they sometimes are rapping so fast that you miss some of the important stuff. And every word has meaning in there in that show. So anyway, tell me your thoughts. So much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Hamilton now on Disney Plus. One more thing. Book of Mormon. Josh Gad was asked, did they tape the original cast for that? Because I would love to. That's another one I saw, not with the original cast, but Book of Mormon is so good. I keep waiting. That's by Trey Parker, Matt Stone from South Park. It's an amazingly funny show. And because all this Hamilton stuff came up, Josh Gad was asked on Twitter, did they ever tape you guys like this? And he said yes. He just doesn't know where it went or who owns it or who has it. But traditionally, these Broadway shows do not like to release those tapes because They assume no one will go buy tickets anymore. And a Broadway show like Book of Mormon, Hamilton, it just prints money now for those people. Like Matt and Trey are probably making more on that show than South Park, or maybe equal. But it's just the amount of money they are cashing in through Book of Mormon on the road for all these years. It'd blow your mind. On top of their South Park, I'm sure, deals, which are huge too. Maybe it is more because it's been a while. But that's why they don't traditionally like to release those sort of shows. But it'll be interesting to see if this changes that. I think Book of Mormon's one of those shows that it would still perform if they had a version out on, sold it to Netflix or HBO Go. I think it would be really popular, and I think still people would want to go see a live show of it because it's a different experience than watching it at your home. But that's another one I would highly recommend, Book of Mormon. When we're back to normal, if you get a chance to catch that one, it's really dirty, but really, really funny and really well done. That's all I got. Check out this other content. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll be back with more content soon. Bye, everybody.